Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We have a special treat for you today. The epic tale of u/hack_a_cac. The incredible need to vent. In long form. We hope you enjoy. Cheers. Now, onto today's story. Need to vent. Rant. Sitting here at work just pissed off. I haven't seen much of my son this year, didn't get him for the summer because of this damn virus. I'm pissed about that. Found out at the end of September that my wife of 5 years is cheating on me. Have spent most of my time doing the FBI thing, which has been a giant can of worms with no apparent bottom. Have had this nasty woman in my house and I have to sit there and pretend that nothing is wrong, when I just want to throw everything at her and kick her out. My lawyer just keeps telling me not yet. I haven't slept in my bed in almost 2 months. Gonna burn that when she's gone. Have had no sex, which has caused her to accuse me of cheating. If she tries to hug me or kiss me, I have to sit there and take it when it makes me want to vomit. When I look at her, I see bugs crawling all over her. I want her gone, but it's just not yet. There is not much left to burn on my fuse. It's like being locked in a big room with someone and there's just a table there and the room echoes and they start tapping on the table and tapping until you just want to flip the table and strangle them. I can't even talk to anybody about it right now because not yet. I'm angry at myself and disappointed in myself for putting myself in the position to let someone do this to me again. I just want this to be over. And I miss my son. Some good news. Was Skyping with my son earlier and my ex-GF wandered into the conversation. She told me I look like shit. Told her I'm in a dark place, miss my son and really have no one right now. She called me back a little later and asked me to come up for Thanksgiving. So I'm stoked. Just have to fight with the witch about why I won't be going with her to her parents for the holiday. But I'm leaving at 3 AM, it's a long drive. And it's 4 days I won't have to look at her. Haven't been in the same room with my kids since April. Not passing this up. Just a question. This ex-GF is different from the first wife though? Yes. Completely different in every way. First wife is a bad distant memory. Ex-GF and I are on very good terms. Little update. Arrived at my destination at 10:30ish last night. Called my ex-GF to see if she was still up. She was. Cooking like mad for today, told her I was there and sitting on her front porch. Her husband came and let me in. He doesn't look good. He's lost a lot of weight. Anyway, we sat at the kitchen table and he told me that I looked like shit and it wasn't just from driving for 19 hours. Ex-GF said spill, so I did. I told them everything and I mean everything. I started crying while I was telling them what was going on. I haven't cried since my cousin called me once to tell me my mother's mother had passed away a month before that. That was 11 years ago. Just frustrated tears. But it felt so good finally talking to someone I didn't have to pay $1 zillion an hour to. We talked for a little bit more about how they were doing, not good, and this and that. They offered up their couch to me and I was woken up this morning by their 5-year-old daughter trying to suffocate me with a teddy bear. My son woke up a little later and when he saw me he yelled DA. And gave me a big ass hug. I really needed that. Last year he decided he was too big to give his old man a hug. They didn't tell him I was coming so it was a surprise for him. I'm in a real good mood right now. I know it's temporary. Then I have to call my in-laws in a bit to apologize for not going to their home for the holiday. They're decent enough folk. I feel bad that they don't know what's coming. Your ex-GF and her husband sound like good people. Enjoy your time there. You may want to tell the in-laws your plans, given events. It's probably already blown. They are. They're family to me. My in-laws are good people but they were a little frosty when I called them yesterday. They understood that I hadn't seen my kid in over 7 months. I won't be telling them. It's their daughter. I don't expect them to take my side and I really don't care about the narrative. The truth of the matter is on my side. At the end of the day, that's what counts. As much as it hurts, follow your lawyer's advice to the letter. They can help you in getting at least 50-50 custody in the divorce proceedings. However, you don't need your lawyer's permission to kick her out of the house. That's your decision, nobody else's. Hang in there, op. The divorce will be finalized before you know it. In time, you will look back on this experience and thank God it made you a better man. If I kick her out of the house before our anniversary, it'll spoil the fun day I have planned. My son isn't from this marriage. My ex-GF's husband is undergoing chemotherapy, which is what has made it difficult to see my son. I'm not going to fight with her about it. I'm not the only one having a hard time right now. Besides, I kinda like the guy and we have become friends. They live in Chicago and I live in Texas. I would hate to pick up Corona at some truck stop on the way there and possibly get him sick. It's this whole waiting game that is grating my nerves right now. Is your ex-GF's husband the guy she cheated on you with? No. My ex-GF and I split because I couldn't pull the trigger. I had trust issues for a long time after my first marriage. After 6 years, 4 of them with a child together, she didn't want to live that way anymore and we split up. Those were the best 6 years of my life. Still love that woman. We have a good relationship. She found a fellow after we split when she moved back north. You have a fun anniversary day planned with your wife? The one who cheated on you and you now despise? Or are you being sarcastic? I hate the waiting, it's tough. Keep us posted on your situation. She's getting her walking papers on our anniversary. How much longer do you have to wait? Soon? Before Christmas? I can't clarify too much right now. The witch uses Reddit. Probably a goddamn rock star on the adultery forum. I don't want to say too much that will hit close to home in case she or anyone we know reads this. She accuses you of cheating while cheating? Is she doing this because she's a cake eater who likes having illicit affairs but at the same time super jealous about any women around you? It's the classic I can cheat but you can't. But sometimes these cheaters say it's okay because it's just sex and they don't love the apps. They get it in their heads that sex and love are different, so that's probably why she's still intimate with you. She just wants to duck new dicks on the side, but she's worried you're in an emotional and physical affair. So maybe she feels threatened. If she's really one of those pompous adultery sub-lifestyle cheaters, then scorched earth is the only way to go. Make sure your anniversary is pretty romantic so the fire is extra hot. Tell her you wanted to do something special for her since you've been so distant lately. Good luck and post the goodies after the dust settles, lol. So, she doesn't know you know? Wow. Does she know your Reddit username? Not likely she knows this name. And I barely used Reddit before I found out, and not with this name. Doesn't seem like it's worth the wait. Sounds like hurting her is more important than helping yourself. I mean, I could go throw her out right now. But I want to have her served publicly at her work for a good reason. I want to do it on our anniversary because I want it to be an anniversary that she will never forget as long as she lives. There's going to be 2 marriages wrecked on that day and 1 more a little later. I'm going scorched earth on this. The policy of scorched earth is the best policy. I assume your wife doesn't know that you know, and you don't mention any new kids with her. I can't think of why your lawyer wants you to wait. She doesn't know what I know. I have a solid prenup. Been married and divorced before. I at least protected myself this time. I am serving her soon. At her work. On our anniversary. If all goes to hell in the divorce, I will still keep my house. It was mine, paid in full before I met her, and pay no alimony. However, I paid for what she gave others for free and I want a refund. Anniversary is coming up soon. When that day is over, I at least won't have to internalize everything. Right now I'm just learning who my friends really are, and apparently, I don't have as many as I thought. Tired of bottling everything up, and this waiting is giving me migraines. Tired of sleeping in a lazy boy because she ducked others on my couch as well as my bed. Just starting to get a taste of what eternity feels like. However, I paid for what she gave others for free and I want a refund. I agree 100%, but I'm surprised you're not getting more flake for this. Just alluding to it will normally get you karma death. You're forbidden to suggest it requires monetary maintenance while they are quick to use it to justify why a sharp partner should get half of everything. Shoe fits where it doesn't apply to all. In every one of my relationships, I made most if not all the money in the relationship. It's not about being misogynistic, it's cold hard facts. Heh? We have one of those money I earn is our money and money she earns is her money. Only thing she pays is her car payment. I had to put a lot of money down though. I wonder if I can make her have to sell her car. Edit, I'm not suggesting that me paying for it means just money. I gave this nasty woman my life, my home, everything. And coming to realize that all I am to her is a meal ticket, well, I want back whatever I can get. So, please clarify, does your WW know that you know of her affair? Is her affair currently ongoing? She doesn't know what I know. Her affairs are ongoing. That's plural. Yeah, so she is a serial cheater. Nope. Pass, go and collect $200. Divorce her. She is a serial cheater and serial cheaters do not change. She probably has been doing this off and on throughout your relationship and she will continue to do so. She is going to cry and scream and beg, make all sorts of promises when you confront her, but don't waver. So you gave up a wonderful woman because you were unwilling to commit? Then you married this piece of trash? Honestly, you made a horrible mistake and now you are paying for it. Your ex must have been devastated that you would not marry her. I'm a fairly intelligent man, but I have never claimed I'm not a dumbass. She was. That's why she left. I went to IC after we split. Therapist helped me to address that issue. And here I am now. Too late to get a refund? And how did you justify your absence from home? Sorry, can't clarify too much right now. My son is from a long relationship I had prior to meeting my current witch. He's 13 now. He lives with his mother. I think I understand now. The son from your former relationship and problems with your current wife. Hold on tight. Be strong. Trust yourself that you can do it. Is she dense or something? She can't figure out if things are crumbling? That's what I'm hoping for. I've suggested that my lack of intimacy is because I am depressed and stressed out about not seeing my son. That's not false, I just left out the part about how she disgusts me as well. This little holiday trip is making me feel better. It's been getting harder and taking longer to put on my poker face. Almost lost my resolve. Update. An update. I'll also provide some background as my wife's browsing history, yes, I am spying, shows she hasn't used Reddit in 6 months. Honestly, at this point I don't even care. I'm white-knuckling it right now. Anyone who has found out and said nothing until they served their cheating piece of crap, you have my admiration. This is ducking hard. I got home late Sunday. It's a 1,400-mile drive. This was good. I really didn't want to see or talk to her. I was tired. Went to my chair and slept. I haven't slept well in 2 months. I've lost 15 pounds. I look and feel like shit. But it was the first 8 hours I had gotten in a while. Monday my wife tried to initiate some intimacy. I just can't get it up for this woman. My Johnson is up bright and early before me every morning, so this is nothing physical with me, it's just that for once, my dick is in total agreement with my mind and heart. This upset her and we got into a pretty heated argument. I told her maybe it was something wrong with me. I'm 50 years old and this shit happens. She started insinuating again that I'm cheating on her. She said that I'm not being a good husband. I haven't ducked her in over 2 months. I haven't told her I loved her in over 2 months. Clearly I'm doing something behind her back. I mean, she tried to gaslight the shit out of me. Yeah. I was doing something behind her back. I was piecing everything together. D-Day for me was September 25th. I work in collision repair. Specifically, I work on the vehicles that are considered train wrecks. September 25th, I wound up cutting my leg open on a truck I was working on. That was a trip to the emergency room. I got 5 stitches inside my leg and 34 stitches on the outside. It was pretty bad. I got put on some hefty painkillers and there was no way I was going to drive. So I called my wife. No answer. Called 5 minutes later. No answer. Called again, no answer. Texted her, babe. Pick up, I need you. Call me. Called her again, no answer. More texts. Nothing. About an hour and a half of this. So I got an Uber to take me home. We turn onto my street, come in view of my house, and she is standing in our doorway, completely sucking face with the GM of where she works. I told the driver to stop. This wasn't a peck, folks, they were swapping spit. She was supposed to be at work. I pulled out my phone, took a couple pictures and told the driver to keep driving. I had him take me back to work. I sat there in the break room for 4 hours. Head down on the table. Numb. Ducking, heartbroken. When the painkillers wore off, I drove home. In pain from my leg and from everything going through my head. She wasn't home when I got there. She came home a couple hours later. She acted all concerned. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. I don't know. I asked how her day was and she made up some bullshit about work that day. I know it was bullshit. A week later I learned for the first time that she hasn't worked a Friday in 3 years. I've never really used Reddit much. It was always there but I had no real interest in it until then. I was looking for crap on dealing with cheaters and this sub showed up along with YouTube videos. So I read stuff here. Just trying to find out what the hell I should be doing right now. I was reading about all the red flags and just saying yep. Well, that fits her to a T, always on the phone. Always texting. For some ducking reason I can't answer my calls or texts. She had no idea until last Monday that I had sat in the emergency room trying to call her, texting her. In 2 whole ducking months she had not looked at our chat log. At all. She was yelling at me that I needed to be a better husband. That I'm not doing enough for her. I got so ducking pissed I grabbed my phone, opened the chat log and shoved it in her face. Showed her those unanswered texts. I rarely raise my voice, but I yelled at her that the one time I needed her to be there for me I got ghosted. She pulled out her phone, looked. Then she left the house for a couple hours. When she came back she apologized and then lied right to my ducking face. Oh, she had a hard day at work that day. Didn't notice because she was so busy. The truth is she didn't know about the calls and texts because she was too busy ducking her boss in my house to answer her phone. In the time between that day and now, I've snooped her phone, her laptop, her iPad. Learned I could look at all her shit from one of her old phones. I've installed cameras in the house. I have been watching her cheat on me in real time for 2 months. Let me tell you something. I've always thought Apple products are for idiots. They really are. Cheaters should probably start using Android or something, because Apple syncs across everything. I've learned she doesn't just dislike my son, she ducking hates that kid. Probably because him being at my house in the summer was cramping her style. I've learned this affair has been going on for years. I've learned it's not just her boss. One of the men she has been ducking has been someone I have worked with and considered a friend for over 14 years. She works with his wife. His wife has been helping her hide the affair with her boss. They ducking introduced me to her. They watched me propose to her. They were at the wedding. They let me marry this woman, knowing she was cheating on me. I know of 4 men. 2 I know. 2 I don't know. They've ducked in my bed. On my couch. On my kitchen table where I eat. In my shower. These assholes have used my goddamn soap to wash their ducking balls. I went up to my property where I hunt deer to get away for 1 weekend. I invited her. I always ask her to come whenever I go anywhere. She always declines. When I got back I just watched this parade of men go through my house and duck my wife. She didn't even shower and clean herself off between two of them. What a ducking pig. Yeah, there's a camera in the bathroom too. Same thing when I went to Chicago for Thanksgiving. She spent the whole weekend ducking other men in my home. In my bed. For 2 months I have kept this to myself until I told my ex what is going on. I'm wearing this calm mask, but I am inches from Hulk smash mode. I almost confronted her about her cheating. But I just hate the lies she told me. I ducking apologized for the argument. I told her I would make an appointment with a doctor for my erectile dysfunction. And then I read her texts to her boss calling me a limp dick and she can't wait for Friday. This is not the woman I fell in love with 7 years ago. I'd like to say she's pure evil, but I'm thinking she's got severe mental health problems. Certainly she's a sociopath. Whatever. I did not sign up for this. It was very hard for me to ask her to marry me. Since my first divorce, I had a hard time believing that anything nice a woman said to me was what she really meant. I've chased off 2 fantastic women in my life because I was still ducked in the head from my first wife, more so what I went through after the divorce than no, she didn't really love me. I got raped in my first divorce. I walked away from it with $43 in my pocket, no home, no car, no means to do my job, no support from my family and had to couch surf for the next 3 years because everything I made went to alimony and paying off our debt. 22 years old and my life ducked before it really even started. I spent my 24th birthday on my friend's couch, drunk, with a gun in my mouth bawling like a baby because I didn't have the stones to do it. I saw no light at the end of the tunnel. Well, since that day, I have kept $43 in my wallet to remind me of the lowest I have ever been. I'm not saying that's where I am now, but I feel like I did after that. Yeah, I'm wiser and covered my ass this time. But you know, the first time, I caught them in the act. Had to do it the old-fashioned way, come home early from a trip. But it was over. The extent of the gaslighting was her saying it's not what it seems and then screaming at me to stop as I beat the shit out of my brother and his friend. Don't do this. This hurt me in the divorce big time, but it was over. There was no bullshit. Nothing could be denied. All the therapy I have gone through, it's all gone. This time around it's this slow process of deceit. Holding everything in. Just getting lied to all the time. Even when she doesn't need to lie, she lies. I feel that every time I blink, she ducks some other guy. I no longer love this woman. Let's be clear, there will be no working this out. I've checked out. My anniversary is a day that will live in infamy. Pearl Harbor Day. I'm going to make sure she remembers it. But the seconds seem like hours. I'm worn out, I have a constant headache. All the therapy I have gone through, it's all gone. Went out to dinner with her tonight. It was actually kind of pleasant. She apologized for leaving me hanging at the ER. Said she understood, I've been in pain, medicated, depressed because of COVID, ducking over my visitation with my son, etc. She wasn't making it easy on me. I think she might be feeling guilty? Not sure. Probably not. Is this gaslighting? But I'm realizing that she doesn't know what I know. Like at all. The bullshit she throws at me is almost rolling off me right now. Today I took a major step towards ending all of this. I left my job. I don't have to spend another 12-hour day with one of her douchebags. I feel a little giddy and I'm having a moment of clarity. I feel like I can breathe right now. You folks have no idea what you have done for me. I get to get what I've been bottling up off my chest. One guy sent me a PM and said he went through something similar for 8 months. 8 ducking months. I'm here twitching at 2. A woman told me she went through over a year before she could make a move. A year. Some of you have asked why I am doing this to myself when I have the upper hand. It's because I want to have a hammer in that hand. My marriage didn't go the way I wanted it to, but I'll sure as hell end it on my terms. I'm gonna go play some Minecraft with my kid. BTW, gaming is a great way to spend some time with your kids that you are separated from. talk to you in a few days. You have all the proof you ever need. Why continue to put yourself through this? Show her you know, then show her the flaw. You are killing yourself. Why? Just to have the papers ready when the time comes? Can't possibly be worth all the extra pain. Get away from the train wreck before it hurts you anymore. I feel for you. Run. I've needed to square away my financials, have life insurance policies changed, change my will, protect my retirement and so on. I want to surprise her on our anniversary. It's fitting. It's December 7th. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but I want to humiliate her. I'll suffer the slights, the disparaging remarks about me she makes to these douchebags. I plan on making it worth it. I want her to feel as thoroughly ducked as I did at 22 years old. Hopefully at the same time you're serving her, you can drop the bomb on the other guys' wives or GFs about what they've been doing with her. Maybe the girls will get together and have a nice little chat with your wife. This is my plan. I imagine the boss's wife will probably go there and make a scene after my wife is served. As for my friend's wife, well, she works with my wife. They've been friends for 8 years, I have been friends with her for 14 years. She knows about my wife's cheating and I want to have a conversation with her about friendship and loyalty before I drop the bomb. She's going to be the only one of our mutual friends I will talk to, as I expect some of them are going to try to mediate in some way, and I don't feel like letting the witch use a middleman. That's what my lawyer is for. After that I will be North Carolina with the witch and all the mutuals. I will talk to her folks when the dust settles a little bit. They're good people. I think I will owe them that. I hope everything goes off without a hitch. And yeah, your friend, the other wife that knows about the affairs, should definitely get reamed out for condoning it and not telling you. Stay sane through all this and don't drink to excess. Haven't had a drink since the day before D-Day. I only drink when I am in a good mood. I come from a long line of angry drunks. I don't let myself get inebriated. Only 5 days left, buddy. I want you to eviscerate her and those low-life cheaters for all of US. This revenge is not just for you but for all Redditors who got cheated on and never got revenge. I'm so ready for your time to shine. You might want to record it and post it somewhere. People love seeing karma at work. Nah. I thought of that, but I'm only giving what I have to parties involved. Maybe down the road they might want to revenge porn her, but I'm not going to go that far. Boss's wife isn't getting pictures of her ducking my friend or vice versa. Sorry, I should have clarified. I meant recording the actual reveal that you know she's cheating on your anniversary. It would be like this video where a Hispanic man confronts his cheating wife and affair partner at his baby shower. I won't be there when she gets the papers. Exactly what I am thinking too as I am reading. You have more than enough proof. You should stop now and serve her. She's clearly in absolute denial of her life and who she is, so she's not going to stop or admit anything. You need to move ASAP, and serve her ASAP. Look up your state laws on suing her for damages and if it's considered assault in your state. When you move out, I recommend trauma counseling, different from family counseling. I am currently looking for one myself, as I am convinced PTSD from a cheater is no joke. Don't be alone. Reach out to a friend you can trust. Eat, sleep and go on walks. Be patient with yourself, as you are in pain. Take care of yourself, move out. I'm not going anywhere. That house is mine, all mine. Bought and paid in full before I ever met her. She can go to a hotel or to her parents. I worked my ass off for it. My son took his first steps there, said his first word there, got notches in a door frame from when he was born till he was down here last summer. I am not walking away from that. In which case, when she does leave for work, come back, change the locks, and when she returns, serve her the divorce papers. Under no circumstances let her back into the house. She can send representatives in to collect her personal belongings. I'm moving all her stuff into storage before she gets served. Got the new locks sitting in the garage. I plan to have a police officer sitting in front of my house when she gets the storage key and my lawyer's card. Not all my friends suck. Not sure what state you're in, but you may want to read up on eviction laws. You can't generally just boot someone out no matter how much they deserve it. She's a tenant there, so she, unfortunately, has rights you have to abide, otherwise you could get slapped with an unlawful eviction charge. I'll cross that bridge if it's in the road ahead. Prenup. Evidence. STD test. Lawyer guiding you. You are doing good, everything considered. Planning to inform the friend's wife? Reporting to HR may be another thing you could do. If you could track down other partners and inform their spouses, as service to society, not just revenge. Check with a lawyer, of course. Good luck, and please update on the 7th when you pull the trigger. Yes. Also, I want names for the 2 fellas I don't know. I can wait another 5 days. I want to end this on my terms. Edit, their HR department is going to learn of it. I'm having her served at work. I plan to inform her boss's wife roughly at the same time she is getting served. I read a post on here where the wife who was cheated on by her husband went scorched earth, and, let me tell you, it was glorious. She had pictures, videos, summations, for each of the women her husband was cheating with, and had them delivered to everyone. When I say everyone, everyone. They went to his work, the other women's work, their bosses, their spouses, their families, their in-laws. Everywhere. With every single fact laid out in black and white in front of every person who opened their package. There was no way anyone could deny what happened, no way anyone could gaslight or blame her for not sticking around and making it work. No excuses of, it was just once. Scorched earth. And the same day she sent out all these info packets, she had her shit packed up and ghosted. Gone. Like I said, glorious. Now, I'm not saying you should do this, but if I were in your shoes, I'd schedule a little vacation and the day off, give her the divorce papers and mail out the packages, take off, and while I'm on a beach somewhere getting some sun, some sleep, and some much needed R&R, she can deal with the fallout of her own bullshit. Either way, whatever you do, good luck, cop. Take care of yourself. ETA, okay, I've looked but I can't find it. It was so long ago. Sorry, peoples. Frown. 5 more days. Can't wait for the update. As others have said, change the locks please, and have a VAR on you during the confrontation, as she may make some false accusations. There will be a deputy there. I kinda hope she makes enough of a scene that the neighbors all come out to gawk. She'll have to do a walk of shame. Hey op, I was thinking you should keep that old iPhone of hers handy on Monday. That way you can watch the damage in real time. I know Elle will get some pushback for this, but you are an example of how we should all deal with cheaters. Best of luck, my friend. Please do update if you can next week. Recording inside my house is not illegal. I'm entitled to have home security. Especially when the city has decimated the PD and hobo shacks are popping up under every bridge. I hope you lawyered up, got all finance split, got STD tested, etc. Did you prenup? I can't wait to read you nuking your STBXW. Good luck and keep moving forward. Yes, been tested, yes, I prenupped. I'm only going to lose half of our savings account. Nothing else. Even though she works, she's contributed financially 0 to our marriage. Don't know if the guys are married or not, but on the same day you serve her, which is your anniversary, I would tell their spouses and report her and the boss to her work and tell her if something isn't done with them you will bring a lawsuit on them. Go scorched earth on the whole thing. In Texas, we can sue for adultery in civil court, but I'm not going to. My lawyer and I are going to have them sign the papers, and 60 days later it will be official. I want signing day to be the last time I see or hear from her, aside from alimony checks from her. If it would have been me, I would have put her to the curb. Since you own the house, I would it before Friday, that way she can't use your house to duck him again. All my jobs at work will be done tomorrow. Friday will be me sitting in my underwear watching Zatoichi movies at home. She's going to have to bang him in a hotel or behind a dumpster somewhere. Zatoichi Revenge, 1965, very suitable for your current plot. I wish you strength and honor, my friend. One of my favorites. I agree and can't go wrong with Zatoichi's flashing sword. When you serve her, I would set up the cops to show up and put her out. That way she can't say you done something to her. You have to cover your ass. They are capable of anything. I don't trust a cheating spouse at all. They always try to find a way to get back at you. I won't be serving her personally. When she comes to get the storage key, there will be a deputy right there with me. Already talked to him. He's my ex-GF's BFF's husband, a good friend. When I asked my ex-GF not to tell anyone, she pretty much immediately called her bestie. A little miffed, but these two are my friends and not the witches. Where will she be served, if you don't mind me asking? And will she be put out on your anniversary? She'll be served at her work. Yup, she'll be kicked to the curb on our anniversary. I would report them to their works. You really should. I expect there to be enough wailing and gnashing of teeth going on there that day. Their HR is going to notice. If not, I'll call them and tell them. You can go to survivinginfidelity.com. There are lots of people who have gone through this. There is a forum called Just Found Out. You will find the help you seek and post there. I don't know how you've been able to go through this. God bless you. Thank you. I will check this out. I keep a reminder in my wallet of how bad things can get. It does help me out. It also reminds me to not drink when I'm angry or upset or depressed. With all this, I've still been in a worse place. It isn't easy keeping my cool, but aside from my spat with her earlier where I almost laid everything out, I've managed. I know others have mentioned this, but please make sure you run all these videos and who gets what past your lawyer. You don't want that coming back at you as revenge porn or something malicious. You have enough video by now, don't you? Consider stopping the visual onslaught you are putting yourself through. Unless you are looking for more affair partners. But damn, just get a buy if you need to do that. Am I correct in understanding that one of the APs is the husband of the friend that is helping hide the affairs? If so, won't that be karma? It sounds like you got ahead in the legal game, maybe a prenup. I wish you well. I've stopped recording. Only ones who will be getting thumb drives from me are the other pses. I did prenup with her when we married. Lawyer says it's solid. She wrote it, she ought to know. I think the witch just skimmed the infidelity clause because it say the betrayed will pay no alimony. Yes, you are correct in your understanding. When I drop the bomb on her, I'm going to let her know what a disappointment she is. This makes me happy. Rarely do the betrayed come out as well as I hope you do. Of course, not emotionally. I don't like being petty, but it does seem delicious that you can tell the friend that while she is helping your STBXW hide her affairs, her own husband was cheating on her with your STBXW. This is karma at large. This part will be amazing. I doubt Top won't hear what happens on that end, but it's not gonna be great. Smile. I wish you good luck. Only advice I give you is to not have high hopes for your plan to play out as you fantasize it in your head. This grand event you've planned on your anniversary might just fall back on you when she has zero reaction. Remember, she's cheating because she doesn't care, so why will she have a sudden change of heart or sense of guilt/shame when you throw this all in her face? Only reaction you might get is a fake one, which you have been getting this entire time. A genuine reaction from her would most likely involve rubbing in how much better the other men were. Anyways, I hope you get the closure and whatever else you seek on the 7th, but my suggestion is don't assume her acting like her world is falling apart. The closest thing that you might get is an act, which I hope is good enough. Nothing ever goes just the way we plan them. I know this. I've a series of actions I am going to do. That's what I expect will go as planned. Everything else, that's up in the air. How did you lose everything, and still had to pay alimony after your first divorce, even after being raped and catching her in the act? Because I lost the race to the lawyer. I spent time drowning what was going on. She lawyered up fast. She cleaned out the savings. Divorce can often boil down to who has a better lawyer wins. I lost. Me beating my brother and his friend was used against me. Made me look like a violent maniac. Honestly, I'm not. But how the hell are you supposed to act when you catch two people d***ing your wife? One bit of solid advice I can give is never do that. Don't do it. And FFS, don't drink. Also, the term rape is figurative. I was not sexually assaulted. I take it you and your brother still no longer speak? He died in 1995 while driving drunk. So no. I haven't talked to my family since. They will use your past assaults in court to character assassinate you. I have no criminal record. I never got charged with assault. It was used against me in the first divorce, but the witch doesn't know everything about my first marriage and divorce. Was it sealed? Lawyers are very crafty, they don't need to prove conviction, just prove it happened. No charges filed. Only mention is in my divorce proceeding transcripts. My lawyer seems to think it's not going to be an issue as it has been nearly 30 years. And what happened to your ex-wife? I guess karma hit her, or maybe you don't know? No clue. I've not been spoken to about her since I left Illinois for Texas in '98. It would be nice to think she's now some gravel-voiced barfly offering BJ's for one more glass of gin. But I've no idea. You said you chased off a couple ladies before you met her. What was it about her that made you change your mind on marriage? Do you think she presented a false front to you? Maybe she's a narcissist or a sociopath? Felt good to be around her. We had a lot of fun when dating. She's pretty as hell. After she moved in with me, I loved waking up next to her. I absolutely fell in love with her. I've said before, being alone is everything they say it is. Didn't want that anymore, so I proposed. Up until September, I thought we were happy. Yeah, there were some bumps and the stuff, but I thought we navigated them pretty well. Hi sir, if you don't mind me asking how old your brother was. You said he has been dead for 25 years. I'm glad your first wife didn't destroy you completely. Pretty sure your first wife is living her best life, lol. He was 28 years old. You know, she didn't destroy my life completely, but I still feel the aftershocks to this day. I have so much stuff staring me in the face that might have been different, but if she hadn't done what she did, there's people who would never have been in my life that I couldn't live without. Silver linings and all that. Well, I'm glad you're still here. December 7th, huh? It all comes crashing down. I hope you got tested. Your STBX sounds disturbing and disgusting. Tested up the wazoo. I've had a lot of medical attention because of my leg the last 2 months. I've also gone for STDs and COVID testing. Jeez man. What happened the first time? You caught your wife sleeping with your brother and his friend at the same time? They weren't sleeping. But yeah, that's what happened. And then I got taken for everything I had. People talk about how great the 90s were. They sucked for me. I'd do it Friday while her boss was there. Scorched earth all around. I plan on taking Friday off and sitting around the house. I always leave for work before her. It might amuse me to see her face while I sit there having coffee, and then she has to pretend to go to work. Then I'm going to read her messages. I might even make her breakfast. I'm going to avoid any situation where I'd catch her and him in the act together, because I honestly am not sure I would be able to stop myself from doing him some bodily harm. But I do feel like spoiling her day. They'll just take it to a motel. Turn up the heat and tell her you'll pick her up for lunch at work. Forgive me, I had 4 wives cheat and I had to wait on karma to spank them, and oh boy did it ever. I never got to catch them in the act. Stay strong, brother. 4? Holy duck. How the hell? You just keep trying to jump Snake Canyon, Mr. Knievel. I'm thinking the rest of my life is going to be with a real doll. I won't go through this again. Also, I'm checked out. Let him have at it. It's not like I would be stopping anything from happening before it is too late. WTF are you waiting for? You have everything, unless you're not recording all this shit and just watching it and torturing yourself. Get your head out of your ass, confront her and kick her out already. Get the papers drawn up and have her served at work. And that friend you've known for 14 years, you know what you gotta do. That friend is also a co-worker of mine. Trust me, the company I work for is not going to be happy with him. I've already spoken with my boss, who is a very good friend of mine of 20 years. I told him my wife is a boss-ducking skag and I'm serving her on the 7th. I told him I would no longer be working there because I would be in no condition to do so for a while. He's going to learn on the 7th about my co-worker and shit will hit the fan there. Call in sick tomorrow to ruin the rendezvous. Today is my last day at work. I'm having a little fun today. Got up normal time, had some coffee then took a really long shower. Felt good. Way better than those 10-minute gotta-run showers. I used all the hot water. Just to make sure, I threw a load of towels in the washer. Woke her up and told her she was running late for work. She asked why I was there. Told her I took the day off and was gonna hang around all day. LOL. She didn't look too pleased. She didn't sound too pleased either when she found out about the hot water. Made her breakfast. Gave her a peck on the cheek as she was leaving to pretend to go to work. Watched some TV and then walked around making mental notes of her stuff I'm going to be clearing out. Sometime around 10 AM she texted her boss saying not to come over for lunch because my husband took the day off. Well, at least I can now confirm that she knows she's married and the I didn't know excuse can be taken off the table. He texted back, oh shit. Abort. Abort. And I'm going to admit, that made me chuckle. At lunchtime, I called her, and asked how work was going. She fed me some bullshit. Then I told her I was gonna go to the store. Need anything? Ha. She asked when I said I didn't know, in a while. Asked her if she wanted me to come pick her up for lunch and I got a big old no. Lol. I have no idea WTF she has been doing so far today, but she sounds really agitated. Think I'll go buy some wine and stuff that'll look like I'm planning a romantic dinner. It's done. Served her yesterday. Update. I had her served yesterday. For those asking, I wasn't in a good state of mind to write about it yesterday. Still not really, but I will get it off my chest. I woke up and left the house, got myself some breakfast while waiting for her to leave for work. Rented a truck, went back home and changed the locks. My friend and her husband came over, he brought a friend and we packed up her things. We loaded up our bedroom furniture that I got her as a wedding gift, my couch, my dining table. Just all the furniture she defiled. Took it to storage. Put all her clothes in garbage bags. Was going to throw her dirty clothes in with the clean by my friend wouldn't let me. We got done after 11 AM, at around lunchtime, I bought flowers and chocolates and went to her work. I went in, gave her the flowers and candy, gave her a big hug and a kiss. She was all smiles and blushes, her co-workers were doing the "oh that's such a sweet thing." I told her that I would love to take her to lunch but I had to go get a checkup on my leg, but to not make plans for the night because I wanted to give her a night she would remember. I gave her a goodbye kiss and started walking out. At this point I'm going to start calling her GM, Ducking Tom or FT. As I was leaving I saw her boss and gave him a big smile and said, "Hey, Ducking Tom, how are you?" Gave him a wave and left. Then I went and got some lunch. At 2 PM a deputy would be walking into my wife's work to serve her. At 2 PM I was standing in front of FT's house. I texted him the picture I took on the day I caught them. I took a selfie in front of his house and sent that too. I knocked on the door and Mrs. FT answered. She knows me a little bit from parties and things my wife's work had. I told her that my wife and her husband were having an affair. She didn't believe me. I showed her that first picture I took and I showed her a selfie they took while my wife was giving him a blowjob on my couch. And she ducking slapped me. I just stood there and she started crying. I gave her a thumb drive with everything pertaining to my wife and her husband that I had. I told her my wife was cheating on me with multiple men, get checked for STDs. I gave her my lawyer's card and my number. Then she asked why was I doing this to her. And to be honest, why did I do that? I hurt her pretty bad. I feel like the biggest piece of shit for doing that. I told her she had a right to know and felt like an asshole for giving her that answer. As I was leaving, that's when my phone started blowing up. Didn't answer any calls or texts. I just went home. When I got home, I changed my FB status to divorced. I started reading the texts from my wife. WTF is this? What are you doing? All that shit. I messaged her back and told her she could come to the house at 7 p.m. and not 1 minute before to get her clothes. Apparently, FT didn't tell her what I did right away, as I imagine he had his own problems at the moment. But my wife sent me a text a little later mother-duckering me up and down for telling Mrs. FT. So he did tell her. My friend that covered up for my wife, gonna call her Amber, started calling me. So I answered. I answered with, how long have you known that my wife and FT were having an affair? Please don't lie to me. And she told me what I suspected. The whole time. Since before my wife and I had met. The whole ducking time. All this time, I was the side piece. My whole marriage is a sick ducking joke. Let me tell you, that's a bitter pill to swallow. I asked her why she didn't tell me. She said it's because they thought I would go apeshit, get violent and such. I told her that she knew me better than that. She said she kept it secret because she was her friend. What about me? I wasn't? I asked her if I knew her husband was cheating, wouldn't she want me to tell her? As a friend, wouldn't I be obligated to let her know something she should know? She said yes. So I hung up and sent her pictures my wife had taken of her and her husband and texted her back with my lawyer's number and said that my lawyer has everything I know. Then I told her never to contact me again. At about 4 p.m., my wife showed up at the house and found out about the locks. She started banging on the door and yelling. I didn't answer. She tried calling again. I turned my ringer off. Then she broke a window and left. At close to 7 p.m. 2 deputies parked out front. One is one of the people that helped me move stuff earlier. His wife showed up, also my friend. 7 p.m. rolls around and my wife showed up. She looked pretty subdued. Pretty sure her and Amber had gotten into it by then. I gave her her clothes, the storage key and address, my lawyer's card. Told her that all contact with me will be through her. My wife started with the I love you crap, we can work this out, she's sorry, she loves me, a mistake, she doesn't love them, it didn't mean anything. I just pointed at my lawyer's card. She said that it's her house too and I can't kick her out. I told her it's my home and that she literally ducked herself out of it. This when she got really loud. All the I love yous turned into duck yous and I hate yous. The deputies turned on their lights and neighbors had come out to gawk at the train wreck. I remained fairly calm and had my hands at my side through this. She kept screaming at me. I think she might have been drinking. She started crying that she had nowhere to go, and when I told her that I don't care. Well, I learned something new about my wife, she can throw a right hook. Gave me a fat lip and a bloody nose. I didn't move. I just stood there and let her do it. She tried scratching my face. The deputies restrained her. I declined pressing charges. Told them to just make her leave. They filed an incident report so I could get a TRO. Actually, I'm glad she did that. When she left, I went back in, and while I was cleaning myself up, all that shit I should have been feeling for the last 2 months started to hit me. I'm pretty exhausted right now. I thought I would feel better after this all got out. I don't. I feel fucking awful. I'm not someone prone to crying, but I've been doing a lot of that since last night. There's almost 600 unanswered texts and calls on my phone and growing. I'm going North Carolina with our mutual friends. I don't want any of them trying to mediate things. I'll sort them out some other time. I didn't call my son last night. I've always called him every night. I'll tell him tonight. he'll probably not be upset by the news. He wasn't fond of her. She carried on with the boss the whole time. Dude, that woman is nasty. Glad you put her in the street. Congratulations. I think you handled it about as well as you could under the circumstances. Yes, FT's wife was pissed, but you did the right thing in telling her, though maybe not in the best way, and she'll realize that after some time. Just make sure you stick to contact only through the lawyer, and when your friends try to mediate, just ask them how you fix a marriage with someone who's been cheating since before it even started. That's what gets me. It was never whole to begin with. I'd known Amber and her husband for 7 years before my STBX came into the picture. She introduced me to her. She was there when I proposed, and not once maybe you shouldn't do that. I mean, she just let me walk right into that shit show. Why? So she could have a BFF at work? I really can't wrap my head around that. Well, Amber gets what she deserves for being such a terrible friend, finding out her own loser spouse was cheating on her too. Indeed, a true friend always has your back, especially if such a friend knows what's coming at you. This Amber girl's no good. Exactly. People like that are no friends at all. I had a friend who was cheating on her BF, and I always told her to leave him or leave the AP, as it wasn't fair to her BF. Everyone else encouraged the cheating and said YOLO. People like that are disgusting and just like to watch the drama in others' lives. Most likely explanation, Amber's a cheater too. Wouldn't surprise me. The old adage says, birds of a feather flock together. Was thinking the same thing. I am glad this part is over for you. You can start looking forward instead of backward. Lock those damn videos/pictures away. We had discussed the Amber/husband connection in one of my previous comments. I said, I don't like being petty, but it does seem delicious that you can tell the friend that while she's helping your STBXW hide her affairs, her own husband was cheating on her with your STBXW. This is karma at large. If nothing else, this became very real for Amber. Sometimes this is the only way people like her learn what betrayal means, and that cheaters and thieves have no honor. As for FT's wife, her reaction is typical. It is part of the denial stage. She did have a right to know. You were connected to her, via a messed up way, and you were the only one to be honest with her. Everyone else in her life lied or cooperated with a lie. You're not an Amber. I wish you well. Yeah, Amber was a shitty friend, but your ex will surely have other friends and family try to mediate, and she'll likely get their cooperation by only telling them part of the story. If she says, I've been cheating from the start, but help me fix this, no one but her closest family will actually have the guts to get involved. Her family might, but you know they're only looking out for her, so you shouldn't trust them anyway. Honestly, I don't think she was. Not that I can never be certain about anything. It's not anything I really want to think about too much. It is very, very hard for people like us to try to understand the reasons they did it. That's because our brains are not ducked up as theirs. People with good hearts cannot understand why bad people do what they do. They're wired differently. Focus on the tasks at hand for now. When all the dust has settled, and if you still have the need to know, you can go for that after. I wouldn't recommend it, though, as it is much better to spend the energy on healing. And you need a lot of energy and time for healing, as the wounds are wide and big. Well, that was a proper job. Especially on Amber, who learned the rewards of hiding cheating conduct firsthand. I'm glad you didn't react to Mrs. FD striking you. You were composed for that. Blow up the world of your WS and AP. Amber can't really be mad, though. It sounds like she condones cheating. You can't say it's okay for your friend to cheat on their husband, but it's not okay if yours does. Amber earned it. It would have been nice to have heard the conversation between Amber and Op's ex-wife. Yes. That would be delicious. It don't matter, I just post the pics to the web accidentally or sent them to her parents. I don't think that'll be a problem. Just show them the pictures and video of her sleeping with every guy with a pulse. I do and don't feel bad about doing that. I absolutely steered our conversation to her saying she would want me to tell her so I could spike the ball. I feel bad for their kids. They were all frequent guests at my home. Amber earned it. Mrs. FT did not, unfortunately. Still, had to be done. That one unfortunately was collateral damage. Actually weaponized collateral damage. Now FT has to fight on two fronts, home front and work front. Because I would definitely run the situation to HR, Facebook, and made it known I was going to name the company as the facility that most of the action took place. Not good for business. Both will be unemployed. And FD will still have to pay his wife out. I hope she bleeds his butt dry. Also, you can bring a suit against FD as well. It's called alienation of affection. Since you did not give him permission to enter your relationship and he was the one whom your wife was cheating on you with. You can get a judgment, and so can FT's wife against your wife. Consult your lawyer on it. Inform FT's wife. Every time they get a paycheck, income tax check, etc., it will have a chunk garnished out for being scumbags. Your story sounds almost as good as mine. As a matter of fact, I could literally submit your story to my cheating ex-wife and she would think I was hack_a_cack. Hang in the man, and remember, you can get mad but not violent. Waiting to one day hear yours. Just think about how many lives were ruined by cheating in this story. At least 6 directly. Absolutely unbelievable. And that doesn't count all the kids. 7 counting the son. Don't forget those two other guys she was messing around with. Sounds like she had a thing for married dudes. So when the you know what hits the fan, they will also be exposed, so that's at least 5 couples, not including the kids. Amazing how one person like her can cause so much carnage. Congratulations, sir. Reading your post and history, I feel weak and marvel at your strength. Your comments about your brother's betrayal really impacted me. I know you have that wonderful son to live for, so I know you'll survive. I've read enough of comments to know you are proceeding like a boss. You owe us nothing but to heal yourself as best as can be expected. Please update if you can sometime when you have more time and more perspective. Your story is a help to others who have been deceived. Thanks for sharing your terrible experiences. Sir freaking righteous. Your whole marriage, man. She was using you the entire time. She even smashed her best friend's husband. Yes, she sure is a wildfire. I'm pretty sure your scorched earth isn't done, however most of them knew what they were doing. That disgusting woman had no loyalty to anyone. Oh, and please don't feel like crap. His wife needed to know she could have contracted something. Oh, and please press charges at least. I hope you focus on what's important for your life, son, and your work. I know you feel like a 2-time loser, but you're not. You are a man that got dealt such a crap hand in the marriage world. You're here now, wiser and stronger. So please have a good cry and rest. I'm so sorry about your friends, but now you know. As for your ex, she burned everything down. I hope she likes walking through crap. That woman is so damn broken, but she isn't your problem anymore. To the streets with her. Oh sweet justice. Her entire world collapsed, and it couldn't have happened to a more deserving person. She will have absolutely nobody to turn to, which is the best part of this. I have no sympathy at all for her. I declined pressing charges. I hate it so much when BS says this. I want her gone. I'll have to deal with her maybe once or a couple times more. When she gets a lawyer. I don't want to have to deal with her over an assault case too. There's an incident report. That serves me quite well actually. There's a TRO on their way. That serves me well too. You're the man. Good job in burning the world of your soon-to-be ex-serial cheating wife to the ground. Dishonest, lying people that take advantage of good fellows deserve extreme punishments for their vile actions. They deserve to be shamed. You were tough but fair. If you're ever gonna doubt the severity of your punishment, just remind to yourself, she was joking with one of her APs about your dick. And who knows how many disgusting things she said to her APs behind your back. It's sick. It's evil. It's unforgivable. She blindsided you like a mother ducking deer on a highway. Now it's her turn. The karma bus hit her so hard that she'll remember this day until the end of her days. She said some shit behind my back. Then she deserves your fury full force. This, but only because. Multiple guys. Long term. Talking about you. Perhaps incensing her family feel violent towards you, including her father. Did you contact your old employer about your colleague as well? Hope you are well, considering the shit show this must have been. Take some time and visit your son, remove yourself from that place and let your lawyer handle things. Good luck. Not yet, but I feel like he got a clue yesterday. Does her family need to know too? They will. I've been getting some pretty hateful MSGs from my fill. When he cools down I'll give him some of the tamer proof I have. If he thinks he can express an opinion to you, then he has earned the full reality. Give him the best image. He may only have half a story, her half, at this point and be reacting on that. Pretty much my thought on it as well. I'll let him cool off a bit. I'm sure your Phil is just worried about his daughter, any dad would be. I would be gentle with him, perhaps just sending him the photo of her and the boss kissing outside your house, with a few words. Nothing explicit, just something light. That's my intention. I'm not going to send him pics or videos of his daughter being a skank. Not gonna do that to him. Send the kissing pic and tell him you have much worse. If he doesn't believe you or continues to berate you, then show him the whole truth. Damn. They never consider the fallout. They never consider not involving people you know in their infidelity. Don't shit where you eat. Apple is for idiots. Those are two things they need to know but never learn. Please press charges if your lawyer gives you the okay. No point paying medical fees for something done to you. Good job extracting yourself from the situation. Mrs. FT may not thank you, but you did the right thing. I got a fat lip. Nose isn't broken. No medical bills. Wow, my man. Just wow, damn, this even hit me. I really have no words for you right now as I type this. She is vile, bro. Just plain disgusted at how she treated you. No one should be treated like how she treated you. But you did everything right, or better put, you did everything that was right for you. Time and patience are your best medicine right now. I promise you, this pain won't be forever. But do grief in a healthy way you can possibly do and don't let it consume you. I truly wish you all the best and many blessings to you. Unbelievable, if this is real, you are incredible. You are really strong. Congratulations for your decision. Not everybody can do the right thing. So your friend of 7 years, that you were friends with before you met your wife, actually knew your wife was cheating on you for the entire relationship and let you marry her knowing what she was doing? WTF? Are you kidding me with that shit? Not kidding. I knew she knew about it from reading my wife's texts, but I didn't know for how long she knew or how long it was going on. One of the things she said is she thought I would go crazy and start beating the hell out of people. I don't know if that's just BS or what she really thought, but that is so not me. Yeah. As crazy as planet Jupiter. That means during their first meeting, dating, propose, and marriage till now. Boggles the mind how cruel these people are. Two things that drive me ducking nuts about these stories, including mine, the cheater calling it a ducking mistake and thinking that we're going to become violent. My STBXW's texts with all of her confidants were riddled with the "I'm just scared, I'll call 911 if I need to." In all our marriage, I never gave the slightest sign that I would get violent about anything, but because they ducked up, we're the potential animals that are going to beat them senseless. No ducking credit. Best wishes on your new life moving forward, and props for being cool as a cucumber. FT's wife pulled a shoot the messenger reaction. She asked you why you were doing this to the wrong person. This was clearly due to her distress and shock. When her head clears, she'll hopefully point her anger where it belongs, at her husband. I know you feel bad for telling her, but imagine how much longer this affair would have carried on had you not said a word. Also, your wife's multiple partners would have put everyone at risk for STDs. At the end of the day, you did the right thing. The anger and hurt were misdirected at you. I gave her my number. I hope one day I actually hear from her. She's a stay-at-home mom. I really hope she doesn't feel trapped. I know she was just venting at the bearer of bad news. It's not her fault her husband is a douchebag. They never gotten chills before, but that was a roller coaster of a story. The amount of courage it takes to do that is seriously impressive. I'm beginning to think it was stupidity on my part this whole time. Maybe I should have confronted her right off the bat. Maybe I spared myself more gaslighting. I don't know. These posts are incredibly well written. If auto body repair doesn't work out, you may want to consider switching to something where you can use this skill. The automotive repair industry has been very good to me. I'm just taking a break right now. I don't know about well written, some of it seems pretty incoherent to me. And my update. That took a long time to write and it was pretty difficult for me to do. If you were to look up poetic justice in the dictionary, you'd find a picture of Amber. A really hard thing was being around people you wanted to choke slam and having to act like it's just another Tuesday. How are you doing today? Has the fallout been chaotic? What are your short-term plans? Wishing you a speedy recovery. I've not talked to anyone today. Been ignoring pretty much everyone. Got a lot of sleep finally. My short-term plans are to get some new furniture and a bed. Wow. You're probably a hero to so many men out there. Wish I could have seen a video of you today, totally calm, cool and collected. What amazing willpower to not knock her out once she attacked you. In the coming months you're gonna feel so much better having done this. Stay strong. It was yesterday. There is a video of my wife hitting me though. Hi up, you have done this with such a good plan. I hope others can learn from it when disengaging with such a toxic WS. Great job. I hope you are taking care of yourself. Please book an IC, you'll need to heal with a professional's help. You seem to have a good circle of supportive friends. I might have missed this in your previous posts, but what did your wife do with Amber exactly? You said she took pictures? I was a bit confused about that. Wife and Amber are co-workers and friends, probably not anymore. Wife and APs like to take pictures. Is this your son's mother? I'm happy for you. You acted with much more composure than I would have been able to. Things will start looking up for you. No, she is not. Thank God for small favors. I wanted to have some kids with her. Right now I'm glad that didn't happen. Papers signed. Got disclosure more or less. Update. Hello. I met with her and her lawyer today. I didn't get everything I wanted, but I got enough. We signed for an uncontested divorce. It will be official in about 2 months. That's the good news. I feel some relief from this, but really sad about the whole thing. First off, she did not or could not look at me through almost the entire proceeding. I'm not going to pretend to know what was going through her mind, but I would like to think she didn't have the balls to look me in the eye. She got a decent lawyer, at least he knew he got handed a dog's dinner. They asked if reconciliation was possible and we did dangle it even though it is not possible. We asked for full disclosure of what she did. He had already had her write it out. What she wrote down, however, was less than what I already know. I read what she wrote down, and conveniently, the 2 fellas I didn't know the identity of were not included in it. My lawyer produced stills from the camera footage. Who's this? And who's this? Well, she wasn't very forthcoming with him either. They asked us to step out. We did. I didn't catch every word, but he didn't sound too pleased. When we came back in, I got a more truthful version. The 2 guys were online hookups and very recent. She'd been having an affair with FT for more or less the whole time I've known her. She said she broke it off with him sometime after I proposed and until about a year into our marriage. I think I believe her on that. I mean, I shouldn't believe anything she says, but I did ask if she was ever faithful during our marriage. She started banging FP, my co-worker, Amber's husband, on July 4th of 2019. We had a fourth barbecue and she gave him a blowjob then, at my house. While I was there. Said she didn't love him, she just got off on it. During this year she just got bolder and started hooking up with random guys from online sites. I'm pretty sure she probably had some parking lot hookups and such, but I didn't press on that. I asked the attorneys to give us the room for a bit. Because I wanted to ask some private stuff. They walked out. I asked her why. Not why she cheated, why she married me. Why didn't she say no? She said she loved me. Heh? Great way of showing it. She wanted to be married. She wanted the security. I was good in bed. But she's loved FT for 10 years. He wasn't leaving his wife and her clock was ticking. So I was basically a meal ticket. She said I made her happy, but she wanted what she wanted. For those asking, they have both been fired. Amber raised hell at work. I didn't need to make a stink about anything. STBXW is living with her parents. I don't know what FD and Mrs. FT are doing. I was told it is none of my business. I think he is trying to stay married. If he stays married, I may have to give him a beating. I asked if there was anything else I ought to know. She told me she got an abortion 2 years ago because she didn't know who the father was. Wow. That was a low blow. In the beginning we tried to have a kid, but we opted for the quit trying and enjoy the sex approach. I would have loved to have another kid. Like a daughter I could spoil rotten. I had unprotected sex with my wife damn near daily. There's a huge chance this kid was mine. I will never know. This was enough to make me get up and walk out. Y'all can talk about a bullet dodged. I'm just thinking she killed my child. If anyone here has ever done any boxing, there's a point where the blows just keep coming but you don't feel them. I mean, they're doing damage, but it doesn't hurt like the first few punches. It's just too much and you get numb to them. This is where I am at. She could tell me she started the Chicago fire and I would not be surprised. I called the lawyers back in. Told mine to go to Plan B. Plan B is I took my demand for alimony off of the table. I want the divorce agreement uncontested and signed. This is the fastest way. I wanted to say condition 2 to reconcile was for her to unfuck all those other men, you know, something impossible, but there's no point top being clever here. Ain't gonna lie, the abortion has me rattled. I don't want a monthly reminder of this woman even in the form of a paycheck. So at 5:43 p.m., she signed. In around 2 months it will be official. I keep my house, my retirement funds, all my property, no alimony for either of us. She gets $73,000 from our savings, is not to contact me ever and we are done. I do not care what happens to her now. I don't want to know what she'll do. I don't care. For her own good and anyone she meets in the future, I hope she goes to a shrink. But I am done giving a shit about this woman. I, in no way, feel like a weight has been lifted off of me. I've eaten a shit sandwich and this is all I can taste. I've had nothing to be happy about for 3 months and I am not happy now. I don't see that in my future, like at all. That abortion has been on my mind since she said it. I think it's going to be in there for a long time. I don't know what I am going to do in the immediate future or long term. Maybe when this is all finalized I'll feel some kind of release. I don't know. Right now, I just want to be left alone. No more raw man, so sorry to hear that or any of that. Right now I just want quiet. This whole time I've been thinking about everything I've ever done and I don't see anywhere where I have done right, only where I've gone wrong. I know this is an awful mindset to have, but it's what I'm left with. All I can say is at least I got to keep my stuff this time. But I won't be doing this again. It's always very amusing when you can show opposing counsel that their client is lying to them. It's even better when you can do it in front of a judge. Actually that's fun, but the judge is expecting it. Too many attorneys are inexperienced enough to give away when they realize the client lies to them. My judge was taken aback and grew quite angry with my ex. Check out my post history for the one about my ex learning to not ignore a summons. I read that was nuts. Thank you for sharing your story, as brutal as it was. Take your time processing this new information. Some people have found holding a type of ceremony for the child they lost to be helpful. It can be private and only involve you. Some people write a letter or something like that. It's a way to let those painful, mournful words out. And remember, you didn't do this. You didn't cause this. It's all on her. Go easy on yourself. This is your Shawshank escape. You were in a prison you never knew and now you're standing alone and covered in shit. It's difficult to see anything other than the muck and mire that is all over, but you have been freed from a terrible confinement. It doesn't mean there aren't scars. It doesn't mean that only good times are ahead. But you have laid all the groundwork to move on to some place, any place, other than back inside. And that cannot be a bad thing. Your story is pretty amazing, and you have made one good move after another. Your only worry should be about you and your son. As hard as it is, you cannot waste energy and time thinking about things that are already done. No more what ifs. Forward. Get that shit off you and get busy living. The rest will sort itself. Breathe. Did you make sure to let her know that your dick works, just not for her? Yes. Yes, I did. Take care of yourself, spend time with your son, bug him to give you that grandchild to spoil. Oh hell no. I'm not going to do that. He's 13. And his mother would probably come down here to kill me herself. Oh shit, sorry, I thought I read he was in his 20s. Wheel time for that hot rod project then, smiley face. If you don't mind me asking, whatever happened to your first wife? No idea. I went North Carolina with her pretty much immediately and stayed in North Carolina. Anyone who tried to inform me about her got shushed pretty quick. I paid my alimony, finished paying it and then moved to Texas. I've occasionally imagined that she is a grizzled old barfly now. One can dream, right? But I've not thought much about her, well at least until this happened. A few years ago I went to a luncheon put on by a group that promotes ethics in business. The speaker started his talk asking the audience to define evil, then gave us a few moments to discuss among ourselves. The best answer that came out of the short discussions was unmitigated selfishness. Since then, that's been my working definition of evil. Over the years, I've read about many marital situations where adultery is an issue. In the vast majority of them, I would have said that while the offending part was selfish, they weren't necessarily evil. From what you've written here, with the reasons your STBX has given, this fits my definition of evil. I'm so sorry you're in this situation. For your sake, I'm glad this is over for you and I hope and pray that healing will come soon. Godspeed, Op. As a writer, editor, and former librarian, I approve this message. As well as Oxford commas. Smile, thanks for making my day. In my experience, there are never any former librarians. You may not work in a library, but I bet everything in your house is catalogued and readily accessible, perhaps even digitized. You might be onto something. I do have my books ordered by genre, politics, religion, poetry, philosophy, classics, etc. I haven't gone as far as doing the Dewey Decimal though. I am running out of space and saving for a new bookcase. It will be my third. I love to write in the margins and highlight passages in my books, which is a cardinal sin to many people. But I will never, ever dog-ear a page. That is unforgivable, smiley face. I taught writing for years and I feel stupid because I have to look up Oxford comma. I've never liked the comma with the final item when listing them using and. I always felt it should just be left alone. When I was teaching writing, it was being debated. Nowadays I see commas being used again. Edit, I'm guessing my comma in one sentence is superfluous. I always figured and or did a good enough job as a comma. Thank you. Did you at least tell your ex's parents/family about exactly what she was up to and doing behind your back? They definitely need to know what a piece of trash your ex-wife is, and the realization of this with her and her parents will just make the shame more unbearable, and her father's perception of daddy's little girl will be forever changed. They are aware that she cheated. But do they know the exact extent of her betrayal, including aborting a child? It would be a good idea to give copious amounts of details, especially in your case. She told them quite a bit. They know this didn't just fall out of the sky. I don't need my Phil to have a George C. Scott in hardcore moment. She's a terrible person, but her parents are good people. Aside from how my anniversary went down, I am not an overly vengeful person. The one common thread I always read on here is to never let the wayward spouse dictate the narrative on why their marriage ended, especially when it comes to explaining to parents, family, and friends. The wayward will always do everything they can to avoid humiliation/shame, and thus lie about everything while assigning blame to the other party. Always. Papers are signed. She's free to say whatever she wants. It doesn't matter. May sound dumb, but any tips on getting a ring off a finger? Need support. What the title says. I like to play guitar, so I'd like to keep all my fingers. This thing has been on my hand for 6 years. I've tried olive oil, Crisco, butter, hot water, motor oil, WD-40. I'm starting to look at tools. I don't want to wear this thing any longer. I want to have 10 digits when it comes off. Very cold water or an ice pack, elevate the hand, add some dish soap and try to wiggle it off. If it still won't come off, Google a string trick to remove rings. String trick worked like a charm. Thank you. Gonna Google the shortest route to Mount Doom now. Don't form a fellowship, no need for some hobbits. Just call for the Eagles. And like the Eagles say, take it easy and don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Because he's already gone, and he's feeling strong. Okay, I was looking at my ringtone line. Funny, STBXW didn't have one when I saw her with the lawyers. Getting a little depressed when this comment popped up. Gave me a chuckle. Reminded me of some skit I saw a few years ago. Thank you. String trick worked like a charm. Thank you. Gonna Google the shortest route to Mount Doom now. Oh, this is the best comment I have seen in a long time. Best wishes. Wow, thanks for the gold. I'm glad the string trick worked for you. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, current circumstances notwithstanding, Christmas tree. I'm going to go off topic, now that you got the ring off. What style of music do you play? Blues, rock, classical, 90s grunge, death metal, C&W. I like a lot of different types. Currently like cranking some clutch and playing along with it. Love it. If you can, treat yourself to some new gear, that guitar you've always wanted, a new amp, etc. Or, anything from ABBA to Zappa, me too. Glad to hear you were successful in removing your ring. I'm not one to sleep with any jewelry on. As a woman, I've had rings, watches, and earrings get wrapped around my hair in the night. If it was just a band it might have been safe, but rings with settings can be a little more complicated. I hope you have a better 2021 than 2020 has been. Stay healthy. Didn't have to worry about hair getting caught in it. It takes roughly 2 years before gravity affects my hair. I keep it buzzed short or else I look like Bob Ross escaped from Starsky and Hutch. Really now am jealous it hurt and damaged my finger when I used string lol. You used liquid soap too? Yep, I used everything to the point I planned to cut the finger off, then I managed to make a cute on the ring and then another one till I gave up. Then when I moved at me nan's family problem lol, me granddad used pliers to break it in half. I jump up saying my finger is free at last lol. Any updates? Is it finally official? Not yet. Probably not until the end of the month or maybe next month. You know, as if we didn't get poor service from the government before COVID, they're milking it for all it's worth now. Got my second failed marriage diploma today. Update. Decree showed up in the mail today. Snowmageddon slowed things down a bit. Oddly, I'm not happy or sad about this. Some friends wanted to celebrate this, but I've never felt failure is a cause to celebrate. Actually, I'm a bit numb. I'm sure it'll hit me later out of left field. She called me today. I picked up. I figured what's done is done, so I talked to her. She's ducked up. More than I am. She didn't apologize. She asked what good would that do. I honestly don't know if she really regrets what she did to me, but it really doesn't matter now. Her folks. This is tough. My son is as close to having a grandchild as they've ever got. He's asked me if it's okay to communicate with them. I'm fine with that, but how do I talk to them without her being in the conversation? These tuckers just wreck everything, don't they? I really liked her. They are as close to having relatives from my side of the family that my son will ever have. Also, my Chi-Chi, I've named Dulce. Thank you to whoever suggested that. It really rolls off the tongue. She kept me warm through Snowmageddon. 5 days with no power or heat and below freezing temps, and she kept the bed warm like a little trooper. Anywho, I'ma take a long break from here. Maybe until I feel like dating or fishing for something casual. I've always had that doubt in the back of my head. She doesn't love me. She'll leave. She'll break me. It's screaming at me now. Right now I'm good. That fear of stove burners is a good thing. I need a lot of time. I'm going to give myself that. I wish you all the best. Just because we've been shit on, doesn't mean we are shit. Stay strong. I love all of you. I know it must feel like shit, and I know everything must be hitting you right now. I just wanted to say, happy sock day. Dobby is free now. Yay, just can't fathom how evil this woman is. Like they did a whole CIA operation just for her to marry you and have a safety net with cake. The level of deceit from everyone to make you fall in love with this monster. I don't understand how you will ever trust people again. I know we are supposed to give advice, but JC, she was a damn supervillain. It honestly sucks more realizing I was nothing more than a meal ticket than the cheating. Yay, but a lot of men deal with gold diggers, but this whole another level, like they systematically lured you in while knowing she was cheating on you the whole time. I'm absolutely sure she would have killed you in your sleep if you had stayed any longer, and your friends would have helped. I'm glad you're away. I know people here always say therapy and go heal, but honestly some things are too messed up for that. I'm just going to say I hope you find peace and happiness. Indeed, it's not the cheating per se, but the lies, the dishonesty, and the deception, the things that really hurt. Well, this is spooky. I watched a YouTube video about the unfortunate events in your life, one of those text-to-speech ones, and I got curious to see if there were any updates. Literally 1 ducking minute after I search on Google, you post. Literally, your post says posted 1 minute ago. Spooked the shit out of me. Anyway, I'm so sorry this happened to you. No one should have suffered this type of despicable betrayal from a sociopathic harpy like her. Have you heard anything more about the fallout between her and Amber? What about that dick at her work? I got to admit, karmic justice nailed her right in cheek when she condoned cheating, only to find out her husband was one of your ex-wife's carousel riders. Frown. Maybe you could take up a new hobby, like woodwork or carving? Perhaps sculpting? Apparently very therapeutic. Take it easy, mate. There are good women out there, not all are rotten to the core like her. These are folks that I have been in absolutely no contact with. I don't care where they are or how they are doing. I did talk to my ex today. We talked about some stuff, but not about mutual friends. Out of all her friends, there was one that gave her shit about what she was doing. Everyone else was all you go girl. Like marriage is some kind of forced servitude, but her morals stopped short of throwing me a clue. I have no time for those people. My hobbies are cars and guitars. I don't feel the need to add stamp collecting. There are women expressing an interest, I'm just not sure how to go about scratching an itch without outright using them. This will take some time. I've got plenty of that on my hands. Gotta learn to date again, but I'm really not in a hurry. Best of luck to you, brother. I can't speak for anyone else here, but I would like to know when you will be healed enough to date. I mean really date someone. It would also be great to know when you find a significant partner in your life. This is not just to tie a bow on the whole story, but I may be going through a divorce soon, and although everybody's different, I'm trying to get a general timeline of the healing process. I'd like to know when to smile. I get fits of anger every once in a while. I go hit a bag in my garage for that. Back to running in the morning and working out regularly. I look in the mirror and don't see the same man I was last August, which made me start going grey. The thing about a timeline for healing, there is one, but who knows what it looks like? I didn't get over trust issues from my first divorce until after women of a far higher caliber than my second wife left me because of them. That was decades. And now I have them again. Just rely on solid friends and family, if you can, and one day the new normal gets better. I have an FWB. We don't call the time we spend together dating, and we don't intend to date. I don't see a future with her, she doesn't see one with me, but we're enjoying what we're doing. I won't say never, but I don't see me looking for any long-term relationships, and certainly not something permanent. But like I said, won't say never. If I knew the future, I wouldn't be here. I've got my son coming for the summer next week, this time he's staying indefinitely. This is a big deal for me and is one reason why I don't want to get entangled in a relationship right now. I'd rather spend the energy on my son. So much of his life has been lost to me. This is what is important right now. Hake_Cat commented on, my mother wants me and my siblings to forgive our older brother for stealing our other brother's fiancée. Need support. Why the hell would they abandon you? Because, believe it or not, Op's story is a rare one. For a lot of people in this situation, their family doesn't want to take sides. They fail to understand that not taking a side is, in fact, taking a side. And it isn't the side of the one who was betrayed. Christmas? Is Mickey going to be there? Yes? Then I won't be. Rinse and repeat for all occasions. Why? Because I would kill him if I saw him. So the family begins harassing me to forgive him and get over it because it made them uncomfortable. How awful for them. I've merely had to get ducked over in a divorce caused in part by my brother, 5 years of surfing friends' couches because I couldn't afford a place to live. There was years of extreme anger, suicidal thoughts, drunk most of the time, in debt up to my eyeballs, paying alimony and the rest of the debt my first wife racked up at her lawyer's advice. But hey, they didn't get nice family Christmas photos because I couldn't just get over it. Poem. My father was the first to disown me. He told me he forgave my brother, why couldn't I? Well, duh. It must be so much easier to forgive him when it's not your wife he ducked. That's mighty big of you. That was the last thing I ever said to him. I regret it all the time, but it is what it is. Karma wound up catching Mickey and beating him like a red-headed stepchild. He got himself killed while driving drunk. I didn't go to his funeral, and that was what made everyone turn their back on me. I wouldn't offer condolences to them for my brother's fate. He earned his bad juju. See, where the family does side with the betrayed, that's rare. They want to sweep it under the rug. Betrayal is a simple bygone that the betrayed should just get over before Thanksgiving. I got no support from my family at the lowest point of my life because picking a side made them uncomfortable. I'm actually jealous of Op's brother, at least he has a family that supports him. Good on Op and family. Most of them. Can't imagine how different my life might have been if I could have leaned on them. I've seen your posts on this sub before, and it was nothing short of disturbing for me after I read how your suffering never seemed to end. I'm amazed that you lived through not one, but 2 failed marriages with no family support, and you still haven't given up. See more. Thank you. I'm stoked. He'll be here Saturday. He's why I get through my days. Got a few very good friends that help me get through them. And thus concludes the epic tale of u/hake_akak. We hope you have enjoyed this long-form episode. Please like, subscribe and donate to help us stay afloat. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.